Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Thank you for joining our webinar today to learn more how you can increase efficiency with the new Panduit Edge Clips and cable ties solution. This 1-hour presentation is brought to you by Panduit and Trident Technology Services and will be presented by Frederic Kalb. Frederic is the Senior Business Development Manager for IEI Business in the EMEA region at Panduit. After starting his career in a large electrical equipment distribution group, Frederic held various roles in the technical commercial field with a diverse industrial clientele consisting mainly of contractors, installers, and end customers. With more than 30 years of experience in industry and in various fields of activities, as well as on the OEM as the ICMRO side, he has been Senior Business Development Manager for more than 5 years for IEI activities at Panduit EMEA. Without delaying furthermore, I would like to welcome Frederic and thank him again for preparing this session for our audience.
Thank you very much, Rula, for this short introduction. And thanks to each of you who joined us today for this webinar. So it's really a pleasure for me to be here with you and have the ability to share a certain number of, let me say, things with you during the hour we will be together today. So today's themes revolve around improving efficiency by using the new Panduit Edge Clips, but also by selecting the appropriate cable ties for your application. So that's more or less the different themes that we will discuss today. And let me start by sharing the webinar agenda. So as you can see on the screen, we have reserved some time at the end of the session for a Q&A part. So really do not hesitate to put your questions in the chat box because your phone lines are muted. But we ask you, if you have questions, please put them in the chat box. We have people who will monitor them. And I will also get the chance to answer your questions at the end of the session. So thank you in advance for all the questions you can put in the chat box. I'm looking forward to them. But let's go directly into the topic of the edge clips. So you're perhaps familiar with such solutions in the market, but this is really a new solution in the Panduit's portfolio. So these products have been developed by our engineering team with in mind the need to improve efficiency in fixing and routing bundles along a frame. You have on the screen some pictures of applications of edge clips. And as you can see, it's an efficient way to fix bundles on a frame without having to drill a hole or put an adhesive mount. You just have to take the edge clips and push it on the edge itself. So it's really a very efficient way to fix cable ties along frames. Such kind of applications can be found in a wide variety of applications, going from what you can see on the left side of the screen, going from trucks to cranes, to trains, other heavy equipments. You can find such kind of applications also in the wire harness business, in white goods, in all type of wire harness applications. And another field in which edge clips are used is linked to solar farms or oil and gas projects, because in these cases also you have to route harnesses along frames, along edges, and using edge clip is a great and efficient way to do these. on the right side of the screen, we highlight some, let me say, type of applications. You see that you have different type of runs. You can have bundles or cables running parallel to the edge, to the frame. You can have also cable ties running in perpendicular to the frame. You have applications on which the harness is fixed at the top of the edge clip, but also you have applications where you can fix the harness on the side of the edge. So you see that with one or two products, you can solve a lot of different type of applications. That's really one of the great points of a solution like the edge clips we are speaking about. Just to show you our range of products, you see that you can have the edge clip as a standalone, but we have also in our offering assemblies, which mean that the edge clip is pre-assembled with cable ties. You can have it with PLT cable ties. I will come to the type of cable ties later on in the presentation. Or you can have it with barb ties, with a different type of cable tie. So these pre-assemblies, you can have them, as mentioned in the applications previously, in parallel or in perpendicular mode. And you see these here also in the orientation, where is highlighted by the A or the B inside the part number itself. Here you see that we name this one small size edge clip. So why small size? It's because in the next slide I will present you our large sized edge clip. Only point I want to mention here, and I will go more in details in a few minutes in one of the next slides, is that this edge clip has been developed for edges between 0.7 to 3 millimeter thickness. And if I move to the large one, you see here that in this case, we are speaking about edge thicknesses of 3 to 6 millimeters. So you can see it here on the picture, the edge clip itself is larger. But again, you have it also in standalone version and in pre-assembled versions with PLT cable ties or barb tie cable ties. In this case, you see that our standard pre-assembled cable ties are what we name the 2S. This means that these products have a length of some around 200 millimeters when it comes to the cable tie. If you need shorter or longer cable ties, the best option will be to order the edge clips as a standalone and order separately the right or the best possible cable ties for your application. If you have questions about these part numbers, about the applications, don't hesitate to put them in the chat box. So let us deepen a little bit more in the features of our edge clips. So you see here the standalone part highlighted on the screen. So the idea was to show it also through video with you, but we have some camera issues, let me say, link it to bandwidth, or I don't know, but I will not be able to put the video on for the moment. I hope to be able to do it at the end of the presentation. Team behind the scene is working on that, but I cannot promise it to you. So I will try to do my best by highlighting the features here with the picture on the screen. So let me say the first feature I would like to highlight is the versatile mounting. You see it here. In fact, due to the design of the bridge here, you can introduce the cable tie horizontally, if you follow my mouse, or vertically. That means that you have 4 entry points, you know, on the bridge, on the edge clip, which gives you the ability to use one part for a lot of different applications, as I have mentioned it for a few minutes. A second feature I would like to highlight, it's not noted on the slide itself, but if you have a look here, you see a sort of barb, if I can name it that way, is this short plastic part here. You have the same here. And even if you cannot see it on the picture, I can confirm you that you have the same here on this side, and this one is duplicated also here on this side. These barbs, if I name it in this way, are here to maintain the cable tie in place. That means that if you introduce the cable tie, it will not, how can I say, go down and will be maintained only by the head. It will not slide down, if I can say it that way. It will be maintained in position with the help of these bars. That means that you can prepare your edge clips with your cable ties and put the cable ties in a position so that each assembly is a copy of the previous one. So you can really repeat the same position all along your edge clips. This is a great feature because it allows you also to close the cable tie, let me say, by using only one hand, the other hand holding the harness itself. If I get the camera at the end of the presentation, I will be able to show you that live.
Frederic, I'm sorry to interrupt. I think the technical issue is solved. Can you please try to start your video? It should be working now.
Okay, let me try. My mouse is here. Start video. No. Oh, yeah, start my video. Okay. Hello, everybody. So you have not only a voice, also an image of myself. So happy to be with you for this presentation. Thank you to the technical team to give me the possibility to share the video. So yeah, let me just change. Yeah, let me just change the background. Sorry for that. Will be easier for you to see the edge clip itself. So as I've mentioned it, here you have the edge clip. Here you can introduce the cable tie in this direction, but also in this direction. The 2 barbs that I have mentioned maintain the cable tie in position, so it don't slide down. You can really put it in the right position and do that. Let me say, let me use this one, so you can really position your edge clip like you want it on the cable tie. And as I've mentioned it for a few minutes, you can if we take the edge clip and put it in position just by using one hand, you can close easily the cable tie and then put it in place. So you see, it's it's a solution who can be used in a very efficient way. So let me just cut again my video. I will come back to the video in a few seconds, or perhaps I cannot, but then I will leave with it. Let me let's stay in this way in this case. So the third feature I would like to mention is link it to the expanded range that you can that I have mentioned for a few minutes, and you can see it on your screen. So our small-sized edge clip is here to be used on edges going from 0.7 to 3 millimeter edges. This is also a differentiator if we look to some other solutions that you can find in the market. Often the competition offer an edge clip going from 0.5 to 1 millimeter, and then having their standard edge clip going from 1 millimeter to 3 millimeters. So this means that often you have to use two different part numbers. At Panduit, we know that managing two part numbers increase the cost, because managing a part number have a cost for an end customer. So in order to avoid that and to have just one part number covering as most possibilities as possible, we have developed our edge clip to be used on edges going from 0.7 to 3 millimeters. That's a differentiator between us and some of our competitors. And the last feature I would like to highlight is the high performance of our edge clip. So, because two things are to consider when you are selecting or using an edge clip. So let me again show you something here with my camera. So the first thing that you have to consider is it must be easy to put an edge clip on an edge, so without using a tool. So as you can see here, this is the edge clip I just used for my presentation. Let me put it here on the edge. You see, very, very easy. No tool is required to put the edge clip on the edge. It's done in a few seconds, and you can see I'm not the strongest guy in the world. So you see, it's very easy to put our edge clips on a frame. The second characteristic from an edge clip is that it needs to resist to a high pull force. So, and this is, let me say, a part on which engineering had to dedicate, let me say, a lot of time and energy to get to the expected results, because our goal was to do better as competition, and we were able to go there. So really, and I will try to demonstrate it. So here we have an edge clip which is fixed. So let me try to demonstrate. So we are in lockdown, so we try to be as innovative as possible. It's not a real official testing because I'm not in a laboratory. But let me try. So I will let me try that. It's really for you. So I will stand up, and here you see I have a charge of 6 kilograms. I can, and the edge clip maintains the charge without any issue and without any, how can I say, tricking point. So let me try a second thing and add again 6 more kilograms to our edge clip. So I hope it will work. So 12 kilograms on a small edge clip, on a small Panduit edge clip, and you see the edge clip maintains the charge. So sorry, I will put that on the side. So I hope you enjoyed the test. It's not the way you will test it, let me say, in your real applications, but due to lockdown, is just to show you the high pull force our edge clips are resisting to. So I put on a charge of 2 times 6 kilograms, means 12 kilograms of charge on a small edge clip. Nothing better as a demonstration, much more powerful as a lot of words. And to stay in the same approach, a video says more as a lot of words. Let me run a short video.
These are Panduit Edge Clips. They provide a quick and easy way to mount directly to a panel. No mounting hole, no drilling, no adhesive needed. These edge clips include a metal barb that is designed to sit and bite into the panel that it sits on. That metal barb is housed by a molded housing, and the finished assemblies include a cable tie. All right, so now I'm going to show you how easy it is to put this thing on. So I've got my my edge clip. I've got here a 2 millimeter thick, somewhere around a 2 millimeter thick plate. I'm going to bring that over here just to stage it. And then that guy just sits right over here, and you're done. When you want to capture a wire or a cable offset from the edge in a parallel fashion, use the CMEA series. CMEV series is when you want to route wire perpendicular to the edge. For capturing a wire running parallel and adjacent to the face, use the CMSA series. For wire running perpendicular and adjacent to the side face, use the CMSB series. So I have here a CMSA12-2S. I'm going to use this to fix, right here I've got a broken connector. And I'm going to use this because I've got a roughly 2 millimeter edge. Alrighty. Voila. Done. Got myself a nice connector. Take this old one out and repair job done.
So as you have seen, even in some cases, you can repair your car with the edge clips. You see a nice application showed by Ray, one of my colleagues in the US. So even if at home you have an edge and you will have something to fix on it, edge clip can be a good solution. So let us go to the first polling question.
So our first polling question is about projects. If you have any project at the moment for which edge clips represent an interesting solution. We will give you a few seconds to answer, and then we will share the results. Okay, so only one mentioned that they have a project at the moment, and the rest who answered with no, we will take this into consideration and we'll continue the presentation. Thank you.
So yes, thank you for your answers. And even if you don't have projects for the moment, I hope that you will find applications in future projects. Please keep Edge Clips in mind. As mentioned, you can use them in a lot of applications. So perhaps in the future, in one of your projects, you can find, how can I say, usage for these solutions. So after these first polling questions, let us move to the second topic. So we have discussed Edge Clips and Edge Clips assemblies in the first part of the session. In the assemblies, you have cable ties. So let us talk a little bit more about cable ties. Cable ties is, let me say, how can I say that? When I'm at Panduit, just to share some background, I'm at Panduit since more than 20 years. And at the beginning, when I started at Panduit, when I went to my first customers, their comment was often when I ask, what is the name Panduit meaning for you? The answer was in 99% of the cases, cable ties, cable ties, cable ties. So really cable tie is, let me say, a part of the DNA of Panduit. So my idea today is not to, how can I say, speak about cable ties types with you, but I would really like to highlight the different materials that you can find in our product offering, because selecting the right material is something which is very important when it comes to selecting a cable tie, because we have spoken about efficiency at the beginning. If you select the wrong material, the cable tie will not have the same lifespan as with the right material. Or if you, for example, have to use or are in an environment with high temperatures and you use a standard nylon 6/6 cable ties, you will have issues. So it will not really be as efficient as it could be. So that's really the idea today in the information I will share with you, which is more about cable tie materials as types. I have a slide at the end of the cable tie session who show the different types, just for your information, so that you see the large range of solutions that we have. But here, really, the idea is to share data about materials with you, raw material from which the cable ties are built. So you see on the screen the nylon 6/6 and the weather-resistant nylon 6/6 cable ties. Let me say this is the most common material that you can find. It's a basic solution, let me say. The natural version is really the best solution for indoor applications. If you have to fix things with cable ties inside the control panel in indoor applications, that's really the best choice. To get to the weather-resistant nylon 6/6 solution, we add some graphite into the mix, which gives, first of all, the black color of the weather-resistant cable tie, but it's also by using this graphite addition to the mix that we give the cable tie the weather resistance. So to summarize, the standard nylon one in white color, if I can say it that way, is for indoor applications. As soon as you have black one, it's often weather resistant. But take care, just one point I want to mention here. Black not always means weather resistant. You can find in the market by our competitors, but also at Panduit, nylon 6/6 cable ties with just an addition of black color, not black graphite, not graphite to give the cable tie the weather resistant feature, but just a color. Like you can add, you can find yellow, red, green cable ties in the market. This is done by adding just colors. Adding a color will not make your cable tie weather resistant. So it's really important when you select a cable tie to have these in mind and to select a weather resistant black cable tie and not only a black colored cable tie in case you need weather resistance for outdoor applications. This is very important also, let me say, to compare apples with apples in case you compare prices, features of the product. So this is one point I wanted to highlight here because it's not something that is so well known in the market, but we at Panduit really take care about that to bring the best solution to your for your application. Still staying with nylon 6/6, you are certainly aware that nylon 6/6 can also be heat stabilized. In this case, this gives the material the ability to withstand up to 115 degrees Celsius. When I say 115 degrees Celsius at Panduit, it means 24/7. So it's not just the peak temperature, it's really 115 degrees 24/7. The standard nylon 6/6, the one I presented in the previous slide, is given for withstand up to 85 degrees Celsius. So as soon as you go above 85 degrees Celsius, it's better to select the heat stabilized version. Still staying with, let me say, the raw material base nylon 6/6, another treatment can be applied to nylon 6/6 to make the material flame retardant. So this kind of treatment is often required for applications welcoming people. So again, based on my experience, I know that in the railway business, in the buses, in everywhere, or every rolling material welcoming people, we got often requests for flame retardant material. So it's still nylon 6/6, but with an additional treatment. And you can see on the screen, effectively, if you are working in the rail business, these products fulfill the need of the EN 45545 standard, which is required in the rail industry. Sorry, what happens? Let me go there. Also, just one additional point, you see on the screen, tested for flammability, toxicity, CCT, smoke density. In case your customer, you or your customer ask you to provide test reports, we can provide such test report summaries to you in case of need. So let's move away a little bit from nylon 6/6, because nylon 6/6 is, let me say, the base of most of the cable ties. Let's move to a different material named Tefzel. So when you see in applications a cable tie with, let me say, a so beautiful blue, like the one you see on the screen. This cable tie is made of Tefzel. Tefzel is a raw material which is very resistant to chemicals and radiations. So due to these, they are mainly used, but not only there, but mainly in nuclear applications and applications where chemicals play a large role. So chemical plants, in some cases, in some buildings, in some near some applications, people select Tefzel cable ties due to the specificity of these raw material. Another chemical resistant material is polypropylene. So it's not blue in this case, it's green. Green is the natural color of polypropylene, but you can also find black polypropylene cable ties and even, let me say, blue, but really light blue, not so nice blue as the Tefzel. It's more, or perhaps I have a picture in 2 slides about it that I can show you. So let's go back to polypropylene. Polypropylene standard is green colored, but you can also get black ones, because in this case, again, we add graphite in order to make it more weather resistant as the standard polypropylene. So why a second solution for chemical resistance? First of all, it's linked to cost. Polypropylene is a how can I say, a lower cost option compared to Tefzel, because Tefzel is really a premium material for which you need a certain, how can I say, level of tooling to make the molding of the cable ties. So it's a challenging process, much more than polypropylene. This plays, let me say, on the price and the cost of the solution. And also polypropylene resists better as Tefzel in some cases, like hydrochloric acid, for example, or salt environment, for which polypropylene is really a great solution. Another great application for polypropylene is in the milk industry, everywhere where you have lactate acid, because the lactates aggress nylon 6,6, for example, but polypropylene offers a much better resistance in this case of applications. So perhaps you have heard about PEEK. PEEK is a material which is used not only for building cable ties, so it's used everywhere where you need a very high temperature resistance, because PEEK has the ability to go up to 260 degrees Celsius on a 24/7 base. Again, not just PEEK, 24/7 temperature resistance. So this is the reason why PEEK is the best solution in every application where you face so high temperatures. PEEK is used in aerospace applications, in other high temperature fields, close to some engines, in some trucks. So it's really a specific material for high temperature applications. We have cable ties in PEEK, but we have also some accessories in PEEK going up to these 260 degrees. So if you face such applications, think about PEEK and about Panduit, and please contact us. Going to back to a nylon cable tie, speaking about nylon 12, which is a different polymer as the nylon 6,6. So why nylon 12? In fact, nylon 12 offers a high resistance to moisture and corrosive, and offers also a high corrosive resistance. So it's really a good play for, let me say, outdoor applications, also especially in oil and gas environment, due to the fact that effectively the lifespan is considered as longer for a nylon 12 cable tie as for a nylon 6 one. And last but not least, we have also metal detectable cable ties. So this is another material. Let me say it's in the mood of time due to what we are living today with the COVID situation, and also with how can I say, safety in the food industry. Because food industry don't like to find plastic parts in the end product. It plays against the reputation of the food and beverage companies. So it's really something, a market. It's still a niche market, but going more and more interest from how can I say, users for these kind of ties. So in fact, it's nylon 6/6 if you look at the picture at the top right, and these light blue color. This is the polypropylene blue that I mentioned earlier, because this is the metal detectable polypropylene cable tie that can be used mainly in lactate environments. And how do we get to this detectable feature? In fact, there is in the mix, in the nylon mix to build the cable ties, you can find small metal parts, and these metal parts are put in a density into this mix that it can be detected by ray detector, X-ray detectors, or metal detectors in the food industry. So this is really to avoid to find plastic parts in the end product. So as mentioned, the goal is to avoid to have a plastic cable tie part in your ravioli can, let me say, or in your baby meal, because that's something that people don't really like. You see here the different cable tie types. I will not deepen here too much, but you see that we have a large offering, and that you can reach out to us or to the Trident team if you have questions and needs for these different type of cable ties. And now we are getting to the polling question 2.
So we will end the answers for the polling question 2. Do you use cable ties or not as nylon 6.6? So only 6 responded yes, and 7 responded no. So thank you for your answers.
Balanced answers, 50-50, close to 50-50, 6-7. So thank you for that. But it highlights effectively that nylon 6/6 is not the only solutions that you are using for your application. So again, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat box, or contact us after the webinar. So as we have 10 minutes, and I would like to give you 5 minutes at the end for the answering questions. Let's move directly to stainless steel cable ties. So I will just say a few words about stainless steel. I will not deepen too much. If you have interest in stainless steel, myself and the Trident team will be happy to organize a different webinar in which we can go deeper into this topic. But just to mention that outside of the plastic cable ties, we have also stainless steel solutions. which are really the best solution for high temperature chemicals, salt spray, vibration, shock, and which has a very long lifetime, 30 years and more, based also on our experience, because Panduit, let me come to that in my next slide. Let me just one, sorry, let me go back. So just for your information, Panduit is the inventor of the stainless steel cable tie with the ball in the head. This is really a design which have been developed by the engineering team around Jack Kavanagh, our founder, for more than 30 years, I think. So it's really something which is key for Panduit, and it's a product on which we have a long experience. That's the reason why we can mention this long life time. A second point that I want to highlight on stainless steel, you can see it here on the with the two pictures. On the left side, you have a standard stainless steel cable tie in the market, and that's the Panduit cable tie picture, in which you see the quality of the finish of the edges of our solutions compared to the one of the competition. So this is really important, because our ties have a fully rounded edge that will not cut into the bundle or in the installer's hand or body, because that's very important when you install the cable ties. I experienced it myself over my 20 years at Panduit, and even before in different other industry works I did. There is really a big difference between our cable tie and the ones of some of our competitors, and this plays also again to efficiency, the theme of today, because efficiency means also less risks and less injuries. To install all our cable ties, the plastic ones, the metal ones, please be aware also that we have installation toolings in order to support you to get the best result when you put the cable ties on your applications. Best results in terms of tensioning, have a repeatability around all the cable ties, and also on, that's why we name them ergonomic, because the last version of the tool has really been improved to increase safety for the operators, due to the fact that it reduced the shocks in the hand and the vibration in the arm when you put the cable ties in place. But again, if you want more details on that, I will be happy to support you with an additional webinar. And I think it's the last polling question, Rola.
Yes, it is. So the question here is, are tools with tension control used by your operators? So let's see who answered and what is the percentage here. So we have 60-40, Frederic.
Yeah, looks that tools with tension control are used by more, by 60% of the people in the audience. So we answered. So thank you for that, and shows the interest for tooling. So perhaps a good thing to discuss in a different session. So before moving to the question and answer, just a very quick and brief review of Panduit as a company. Sorry, we have 4 minutes, so I will really try to do it in 2 minutes. You see a certain number of facts about Panduit on the screen. I will not read all of them. I will just give you 2 highlights, let me say it that way. First of all, more than 60 years of innovation at Panduit, because Panduit was founded in 1955 by a person named Jack Kavanagh. So More than 60 years, this means a lot of great experience to support the market, but also you in your daily business. That's one of the key messages here I would like to share. And the second one is that we are at Panduit a unique company. Panduit is a privately held company. This means that Panduit looks to the long term, not just to the yearly results not just on short term, but really looks to the long term. And we do what's best to meet the needs of our partners and our customers. So that's really one of the messages I would like to share here about Panduit is we are a unique company. We look to long term and to support you and your business. That's really the DNA of Panduit. So we have seen edge clips, we have spoken about cable ties. Just in 3 slides, 1 minute, just an overview of our offering. So Panduit is working in the bundle team. You see here cable ties, mounts, the tools, we have mentioned that. But you can see also that we have additional solutions to improve efficiency again. Harness board fixtures, quick build system, pad system. This is a system which allows you to put a cable tie in place in less than a second. We have also a large range of products for the connect part of our offering. You see power connectors, you see ferrules, terminals, and the systems to crimp them. And the third part is around manage and identify. Manage by using abrasion protection products, heat shrink, spiral wrap, wiring ducts, innovative wiring ducts, and also, how can I say, a large offering going from printers to software to labels and ink for all what's around identification. So you see that outside of edge clips and cable ties, we have a lot more to offer for your needs. This was my last slide. Let's move to the question part of the session. We have 2 minutes, so I hope you can stay 1 or 2 minutes more. It depends on the number of questions that my colleagues got. Baban, Rula, Amal, do you have questions for me?
Thank you, Frederic, for your presentation. I would just like to ask you, do the Panduit Edge Clips make specific standards?
So the edge clips effectively are, how can I say, in line with the EN 45545 standard, the one I have mentioned for the rail industry, because its edge clips are used in a large number in such kind of applications. So we have fulfilled the test for these standard. But in case of need, if you need a different standard, let us know. We can run tests. For your information, the raw material from which the edge clip is built is, let me say, the same as heavy duty nylon 6/6 raw material mix. So we can get certifications to other standards if needed. The one which was required by the market is the EN 454, the rail one, and we fulfill these without any issue. I hope that answered the question.
Yes, thank you. I do have another question. What are the main differentiators between the Panduit stainless steel cable ties and those of the competition?
Okay, so that's a great question. So I mentioned one point during my presentation, which is linked to the quality of the edges, the rounded edges of our cable tie. So that's something that is key for the users who have to use these cable ties on a daily basis, because they are really not aggressive for the hands of the workers, but also it's key for the cables and the bundles themselves, because if you put a harness above another one, if your stainless steel cable tie is aggressive, you can damage the protection of the cables. So these are two differentiators. One additional one that I would like to mention, it's not part of the presentation, but it's linked to the design of the head of the cable tie. I have mentioned that Panduit is the inventor of the stainless steel cable tie with the ball in the head. This was developed for something like 40 years. Then it comes to the public, and other companies could copy, let me say, more or less our design. But our engineers put again new resources behind the design of the head and made some changes with new patents. And these allows us to have the highest tensile strength in the market. If you compare, for example, our 4.6 with stainless steel cable tie with the one of the competition, our tensile strength is the double as the one of the competition. And we achieved this by changing the design of the head. So again, to compare apples to apples, please take that in consideration. It's 2 or 3 main differences between our stainless steel cable ties and the one of the competition. I hope this answers the question of the auditor.
Yes, yes. Another question. I'm sorry, I have a lot of questions. Are there edge clips available, and is it possible to get samples?
So yes, the edge clips, you have seen on the screen the list of the 2 types of edge clips with the part numbers. Let me say that 90% of these part numbers are available at the moment we are speaking, and the 10% missing parts will arrive in 2 weeks, something like 2 weeks, to our warehouse. So I can say they are available. And if you want samples effectively, you can contact the Trident team and we can provide you with samples. We have dedicated sample bags named EC/bag, in which you can have, you will find large and small edge clips and assemblies. I hope this answers the question.
Yes, yes, it does. We had a question here over the chat, and I just wanted to make sure that we're covering things clear. Do we have certain dimensions for the cable ties with the clips?
Can you repeat? Do you have
certain dimensions for the cable ties, or specific dimensions that we're limited to, like a diameter, a width for the cable tie with the clips, with the edge clips?
No, so in fact, the edge clips can be used with cable ties from 2.4, 3.6, 4.8 millimeters, and with different lengths. So what we deliver in standard is our 2S cable tie. That means it's a 200 millimeter long cable tie and a 4.8 millimeter width cable tie. But if you want to use longer or smaller cable ties, you can use it with the standard edge clip. You are not limited. This is a 2S. Let me perhaps you see it here. This is a 2S, but if you want to use a shorter or a longer one, you can. If you want to use a smaller one, this is also possible.
Thank you. Thank you, Frederic, for your answers.
You're welcome. Anything else?
I think that's it. And we are really sorry for taking a few minutes longer. So I would like to really thank everyone for attending our webinar today. And we hope that the audience found the content valuable and informative. If anyone should need any other information, please feel free to reach to our Trident team or to contact Frederic as well. These are the email addresses that you can email us and communicate with us. And thank you again for your time today. Thank you, Frederic. We really appreciate the presentation and sorry for some technical issues that we had in the beginning. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy your day.
Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy your day. Bye.